Hello, everybody, and welcome to a quick video where I want to talk about how you can adapt your style based on the specific structure of the format you are playing in. Now, this is a topic that I was thinking a lot about this past weekend with the Arena Open, and it's also something that you can apply to your paper drafts, your pre-releases, any tournaments you play in, if you're playing best of one to try and rank up, or best of three. These are sorts of things you should be thinking about. And so I wanted to mention this topic because I think it's pretty interesting. So when you're playing a game of Magic, not all formats are created the same. Now it's easy to think, well, I'm going to approach every format the exact same. But if you really are trying to optimize, you need to have slight tweaks in your gameplay depending on the specific format instances. If you watched my gameplay of when I was playing in a tournament with other streamers, and there were open deck lists, you may have noticed me saying that I was going to put a much lower priority on combat tricks, because in a format with open deck lists, players aren't going to walk into your combat tricks. And in fact, I was able to play around a combat trick that Reed Duke had because I knew he had a couple copies of it in his deck. And without that information, I'm not sure I would have made those same plays. And I didn't want to expose myself to that same exact situation. So I tried to avoid combat tricks when I could, and maybe if I was going to play them, I would side them in. So my opponent would look at my deck list and not know that I had it in my deck because it would be a card that wasn't in my main deck. And so you still get that element of surprise then. And that's a way you can adapt your strategy for an open deck list tournament. With a tournament like the Arena Open, where the payoff is exponentially higher the more wins you get, it can be more rewarding to try and draft a deck that has the potential to go 8-0 or something of that nature, where maybe you don't really care about the gems payoffs along the way. So if you go 0 wins, you're like way happier if you're going to go 0 wins some of the time and 8 wins some of the time versus always getting 4 wins. 4-2 is a great record. 4-2 is a pretty excellent record, in fact, if you're playing against high level competition on day 2 of an Arena Open. But 4-2 is never going to qualify you for the cash prize. If you got 4-2 every time, you'd get some gems payouts, but that's not really why you compete in the Arena Open. You compete in the Arena Open to try and win those cash payouts, at least if that's something you're interested in. That's generally why people play the Arena Open. But yeah, so if you are playing the Arena Open, it would be much better for you to get 8 wins one time and 0 wins 3 times instead of getting 4 wins 4 times. Now, if you're getting 4 wins 4 times, that's 16 wins. If you're getting 8 wins one time, that's 8 wins one time and then 0 wins the other 3. That's half as many wins, but you're much happier with that outcome because you actually get a $2,500 prize in that case, versus in the case where you go 4-2, you never end up getting any cash prizes. And even if you don't care about the gems, that's just much better for you to get the 8 wins one time and 0 wins other time. So you can adapt your draft strategy. Maybe you open a gold card rare and you just say, well, normally I would take this strong common over this that keeps me in one color, but because I'm really just trying to spike super hard, I'm going to just take this gold rare and hope that that color's open, and then just force that deck. And if it is open, I can end up with an incredible deck with this incredible rare, and my deck can be incredible, and I can potentially get those 8 wins. And you can adapt your strategy for that. Now, there's also strategy adaptations that you can do in best of 1 versus best of 3. Arena has a hand smoother for best of 1, so aggressive strategies are naturally going to be a little bit better because they have more likelihood of having a curve out, and curve outs are really necessary for an aggressive deck, whereas a control deck, if you're playing against like another slow deck, it doesn't necessarily matter if you go 2 drop, 3 drop, 4 drop, but in an aggressive deck, you really need to be able to curve out, hit an optimal number of lands and spells in the early turns of the game, because you're not going to have time to draw out of it really as much. So aggro is a little bit more favored, so you're going to have to adapt the way you build your decks, the way you draft cards, which cards you prioritize if you are playing best of 1, and that's just a fact. You just have to know what sorts of cards go up in value if you're playing best of 1 versus best of 3. And then in best of 3, you can be like, well, I know that I'm going to have a little bit more time. If it is an aggressive opponent, I can side in all of these anti-aggro tools, but to start with, I'm going to start with this more mid-rangey shell. And so you kind of have a different approach that you can use. I just thought this was an interesting topic. I have a really exciting video that I'm releasing tomorrow, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but I really think that you'll enjoy it, and I'm super excited about it. But I did want to give you this brief bit of strategy insight today, so I can keep you up to date with all of the great Magic strategy on a daily basis as long as I can. So that's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe for more draft content, and comment below with your questions, thoughts, and feedback. If you'd like to support my content, you can do so via Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and also in the description below, you can find links to the NicolaiBolas Discord server, almost 500 folks in there at this point. If you want to be among the first 500, now's the time to join. It's free to join, and everyone's welcome to talk about all things Magic. The NicolaiBolas Twitch stream is linked, the NicolaiBolas articles, NicolaiBolas merchandise, all of that stuff in the description down below. Anyway, I hope you found this little strategy. My voice is croaking up. I hope you found this little strategy insight video helpful, and I will talk to you next time.